Okay, so where are we with the ads and the casting and everything now? Just out of interest, I've lost power in my house right now, and that may have been an electricity company truck. I don't know. Anyway, alright, so I put ads up for about 8 of the parts. There was the lead role, Amanda, which has attracted a lot of interest. Then Adam, the other male lead. Daniel, the church trainee, would-be church minister. Marky, the drug dealer. Mary, who also works for the church, tries to help them. Virginia, who is Amanda's mother. Jill, who's Virginia's sister. And Stan, who is Virginia's boyfriend, who abuses Amanda. So I got a lot of applicants. Very interesting process. So for 8 parts, I think the total was, I'm not sure what it is exactly, it might be about 110 or something, 120 parts. I was intending on running them for a lot longer, but I've actually cut them short because I'm just getting overwhelmed with applicants, and I'm quite sure I've got some good ones in there. I had a discussion on Facebook with a few people about this, and I do apologise to anyone who saw one of the ads and intended on applying, but missed out because I cut it off too early. So I'm sorry about that, but I just had to do it for practical reasons, because at the rate the applicants were coming in, I was going to end up with quite a few hundred applicants, and to go through them and do justice to all of them, it's just way too time consuming. And just from what I have looked at, I'm pretty sure I've got enough good ones in there, so I decided to cut them all off. I've also put an ad up for a production assistant, and I'll talk about that in another clip. But so that ad is still running as of right now, but all the acting ads are gone. So what are a few generalisations I can tell you? There are plenty of people who are applying for things they're just not suited to. I've got a bit specific about what's required for some of the parts, and plenty of people are ignoring that. I've got a fairly good idea in my head of how I want each character. Now, I'm certainly open for surprises, and a few people have made suggestions which I've kind of thought were interesting, but a lot of the time, and I suppose you can't blame people for wanting to have a go, but a lot of the time it's just completely different to what I had in mind, and it wouldn't work either. So I've just gone through initially weeding people out based on the fact that they're obviously not suitable either, particularly some of the younger parts where you've got to be able to look 17 years old. People in the late 20s that just don't look it. And I even had one applicant from overseas. There's interstate ones which I'm prepared to consider, depending on the role and the importance of, getting a really good, I want a really good person for every role, but you know what I mean. Like if I feel we can't get a good enough person here, or there's a really outstanding person from interstate, then I'd certainly consider it. But if I can get a good enough person here, then interstate just adds a lot of complications and that kind of thing. So in some cases people were ruled out just because they applied from interstate. There's a couple of interstate ones though that I have ruled in. What else is there? The age is a big thing, particularly for this. Some people just don't have the look for the age. The location. Then you start looking in training and experience. Now, I want people who are really good. I appreciate that some people want a leg up, and I'm getting plenty of messages where people are telling me about how good this would be for them, and nothing about how well they would suit it. And that's just not positive at all. I want this film to be as good as it can be, and I certainly hope that it will be good for anyone who's in it. But I'm not doing this just to be good for you. I'm doing this because I want the film to be great. So I'm basing some judgments on that. I can't think what else. So anyway, I'm trying to weed them down to the best ones. So out of roughly about 20 applicants for each part, I did up a short list of maybe even 10, and now I'm getting that down to a list of about 3 or 4 which I'm going to invite to audition for the parts. So that's about it at the moment. I had a feeling there's one other thing I was going to say, I can't remember it now, in regard to what to put in an application. Yeah, but you know, telling someone how good it's going to be for you as opposed to how good you're going to be for it isn't good. And you know, at the start, when I started weeding things out, I started giving everyone a message, just to be nice and explaining things about why they weren't included or why they've gone through to the shortlist. Or not why, or just that they've gone through the shortlist. And anyone who I didn't include, who didn't go through, I just sent a message giving them a simple reason. But that's very time consuming. I've decided, and to be frank too, you know, some people don't like your decision, and you don't need to open up conversations about it. So I've just gone through and done a lot more sorting, and I'm not giving anyone a message. So apologise again if that seems a bit impersonal, but again, that's just practical. You can't spend time talking to everyone about everything. Sometimes you just got to cop the decision on the chin, even if you don't agree with it. You know, there's heaps of people out there who could do the parts, so it's just up to me to find the ones that I think are best. So that's the way it is. So when the electricity comes back on here, I'll continue doing a bit more of that. So I'm going to look at doing the auditions at the end of March. I've got a commitment early in March, a comedy tour with the Smooth End of the Pineapple in central Queensland. We're doing some shows, so after that's over, then I'll want to start looking at the auditions. But when the power does get back on, and I'll just work out whittle down the lists for Adam and Amanda, then I'll just start sending messages out inviting people to audition. So that's where we're at the moment. Everything's going really well. Okay, thanks, bye.